Ladies and gentlemen, as you find your seats, I encourage you to draw your attention to the screen to enjoy the academic procession, a time-honored tradition symbolizing the continuity and unity of academia, marking the beginning of today's ceremony. Our esteemed faculty are seen marching from the academic building down Military Walk toward Rudder Tower. Note the colorful regalia, caps, gowns, and hoods, symbolizing the advanced degrees and representing the alma maters of our Texas A&M faculty members. Along with our faculty, we have several student leaders and members of the University Staff Council Executive Committee joining in the academic procession. Now entering the auditorium are delegates from academic institutions, learned societies, and professional organizations, including several presidents and administrators of institutions of higher learning from across the state and nation.
Howdy. Howdy. Please take your seats. My name is Cade Coppinger, and I am honored to serve as a student body president this year. I have the distinct privilege of welcoming you all to this exciting day for Texas A&M University, the formal installation of our 27th president. Before I get too far, I want to take a few minutes to introduce our stage party. I ask that you please hold your applause until we conclude all introductions. Representing the United States Congress, the Honorable Michael McCall. Representing our local government, the Honorable Dwayne Peters, Brazos County Judge. The Honorable John Nichols, City of College Station Mayor. The Honorable Bobby Gutierrez, City of Bryan Mayor. Representing the Texas A&M Board of Regents, Chairman Bill Mahomes. Vice Chairman Bob Albritton. Regent David Baggett. Regent John Bellinger. Regent Randy Brooks. Regent Jay Graham. Regent Michael Plank. Regent Sam Torn. And Student Regent Cage Sawyers, class of 2025. The Honorable John Sharp, Chancellor of the Texas A&M University System. Dr. Alan Sams, Provost and Executive Vice President. Dr. Heather Lynch, Senior Associate Provost for Faculty Affairs and the Mace Bearer for today's processional. Dr. Angie Hill-Price, Speaker of the Faculty Senate. Dr. Jorg Steiner, Chair of the Distinguished Professors. Dr. Robin Page, Chair of the Council of Principal Investigators. Ms. Kat McClelland, Chairperson of the University Staff Council. Ms. Tamara Waldron, Class of 2022, President of the Graduate and Professional Student Government. Mr. DeAndre Macri, Class of 2025, Corps of Cadets Commander. Ms. Olivia Pace, Class of 2025, Corps of Cadets Chaplain. Representing our affiliate boards and foundations, the Honorable Andrew Card Jr., Chief Executive Officer of the George and Barbara Bush Foundation. Mr. Travis Dabney, President and Chief Executive Officer of the 12th Man Foundation. Mr. Porter Gardner, President and Chief Executive Officer of the Association of Former Students. The Honorable Bruce Hamilton, President and Chief Executive Officer of the Corps of Cadets Association, and Mr. Tyson Vogel, President and Chief Executive Officer of the Texas A&M Foundation. And finally, the 27th President of Texas A&M University, General Mark A. Welsh III. I also have the privilege of welcoming those in attendance with us today. Many distinguished guests, including delegates from academic institutions and professional societies across the state and nation, elected officials, friends and family of President Welsh, esteemed faculty and staff, and of course, I can't forget so many of my fellow student leaders and Texas A&M students. We also have many joining virtually today at watch parties and at our branch and remote campuses across the nation and the state. We are glad to have you watching live. Today is a very historic moment in Texas A&M's history, as we are able to reflect on the past, the present, and the future all in one occasion. To students, President Welsh represents a servant leader, an advocate, and a friend. I had multiple students before meeting President Welsh that had told me that he had this rare ability to make them feel like they were the only person in the room. Through working with him over the past few months, one of the greatest lessons I have learned through observation of his leadership is no matter how much you know or how much you've done, and he's done a lot, you can learn something from everyone you meet. This is a testament to General Welsh's humility and character. I would like to speak for students by saying, we are thrilled to have you as our president. At this time, I would like to ask all that are able to stand for the presentation of the colors by the Corps of Cadets Color Guard, and please remain standing for the singing of the national anthem, sung by the Singing Cadets, Century Singers, and Women's Chorus, followed by the invocation.
Present college.
Education, please welcome 4th Cadets Chaplain, Miss Olivia Pace, class of 2025.
Good morning. If you would like to join me in prayer, please bow your heads with me. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the gift of life and the opportunity to be here today. We are so blessed to be part of an amazing community and family here at Texas A&M. And Father, you have been so gracious to provide such a thing for us. Thank you for being a guide for General Welch and leading him to the Bush School and A&M, as well as providing him with the discernment on how he can guide our student body, faculty, and staff. We pray that you would continue to lead General Welch for the betterment of our university. We pray that each day we are led to follow your word and live out the Aggie core values in all that we do. We pray for longevity of our university system as we grow and continue to build leaders of character. Lord, bless the conversations amongst university leaders for the good of our community and let them glorify you. Counsel them, Father, so that they may lead our university towards your will and vision for the future. Be also with their families and support systems through any trials and celebrations they may experience. Give us all wisdom and humility in our daily lives, so that we may fulfill your plan for us. Lead us to live every day for our values and the Aggie spirit. Let the traditions of our university prosper and forever foster a community of love and camaraderie. In your name we pray. Amen.
Please be seated.
Good morning. Howdy. I am Alan Sams, Provost and Executive Vice President of Texas A&M University. What a truly wonderful day this is as we gather to celebrate one of the oldest and most cherished traditions in academia and investiture. This marks a significant milestone in the history of Texas A&M and boldly demonstrates our confidence in the future. Investitures trace their origins to the dignified ceremonial rites of knighthood, where honor and responsibility were conferred upon distinguished individuals. Today, we formally bestow upon our new president the authority and symbols of leadership. In keeping with tradition, the official regalia and insignia symbolize not just the office of the president, but the trust and responsibilities conferred upon him as he guides this institution into its promising future. It is my pleasure to now introduce Congressman Michael McCaul, who is currently serving his 10th term in the United States Congress, which includes Bryan and College Station. Since being elected to represent our community, Chairman McCaul has been a tireless advocate and supporter of Texas A&M, and his leadership has ensured that our university remains at the forefront of tradition and excellence. At the beginning of the 118th Congress in 2023, McCaul became the first Texan to ever chair the powerful House Foreign Affairs Committee, which considers legislation impacting the diplomatic community and the world. Prior to Congress, Chairman McCaul served as the Chief of Counterterrorism and National Security in the U.S. Attorney's Office, served as the Texas Deputy Attorney General, and as a federal prosecutor in the U.S. Department of Justice. A fourth-generation Texan, Chairman McCaul earned a bachelor's degree in business and history from Trinity University and a law degree from St. Mary's University. Chairman McCaul and his wife, Linda, class of 1987, are the proud parents of 5 children, 3 of whom are Aggies. Sir, we thank you for your service to our university, our community, our country, and the world. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, Chairman Michael McCaul.
Thank you so much, Mr. Provost. I'm the proud father of triplets that are at Texas A&M, so howdy. My wife is a fighting Texas Aggie, and my father-in-law, Lowry Mays, was the chairman of the Board of Regents. And I know he's looking down at this investiture with pride, and I am so proud to represent this great, great university. I'm also proud to say a few comments about my friend, President Welsh. I knew we would hit it off when I walked into his office and I saw a drawing, a sketch of a bombardier from a B-17 in World War II. For that is what my father did in World War II, the greatest generation. As his father fought the Nazis, so did mine, and that generation handed down a better and safer America to the next. History will judge them as the greatest, for they saved freedom at the time of greatest peril and greatest danger. I have a congressional resolution. I will not read all the whereases, for we don't have that much time, but I do want to hit the highlights. Whereas Mark Welsh believes that leadership is a gift. It's given by those who follow, but you have to be worthy of it. Whereas as a combat pilot, he was awarded 2 Distinguished Flying Crosses for missions flown in Desert Storm. Whereas he served as a commander of the United States Air Forces in Europe and commander of NATO Air Command at Ramstein Air Base in Germany. I've been there many times, and as Associate Director of Military Affairs at the Central Intelligence Agency. Whereas as a member of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, he served as a military advisor to the Secretary of Defense, the National Security Council, and the President of the United States. Whereas Mark Welsh also served as the Commandant of the United States Air Force Academy. He retired from the Air Force as a 4-star general in 2016 after 40 years of distinguished service. Whereas upon his retirement on July 1st, 2016, the Secretary of the Air Force created a new award in his honor, the General Mark Welsh III One Air Force Award. Whereas Mark Welsh, after retiring from the Air Force, continued his career of public service as the Dean of the Bush School of Government and Public Service at Texas A&M. And finally, whereas he once again answered the noble call of service to become the 27th president of Texas A&M on December 12, 2023, after being unanimously approved by Texas A&M University System Board of Regents. I can think of no better qualified man or individual to serve this university as its president. And with that, I'd like to present the congressional resolution that I introduced in the Congress, and President Welsh.
Howdy. I'm Dr. Angie Hill Price, class of '87, and Speaker of the Faculty Senate. I stand here before you proudly representing over 4,300 faculty, the foundation of our great institution, the foundation that strives every day for excellence in scholarship, teaching, and selfless service. President Welsh, we congratulate you today on your investiture as president of Texas A&M University. The faculty are committed to working beside you through shared governance to advance a university's research mission, protect academic freedom across its campuses, and enhance students' academic experience. Standing together, we will ensure Texas A&M University is the nation's premier land-grant institution, providing a robust education which will transform our students into tomorrow's leaders for the betterment of our state, our nation, and the world. And now it is my great honor to introduce the chairman of the Board of Regents, Mr. William Bill Mahomes, Jr. Bill Mahomes, class of 1969, was elected chairman of the Texas A&M University System Board of Regents in 2023. He received a bachelor's degree in finance from Texas A&M University and Juris Doctorate in 1972 from the University of Texas School of Law. He was appointed to the Texas A&M University System Board of Regents by Governor Greg Abbott in 2015 and was reappointed in 2021. Chairman Mahomes was named a distinguished alumnus of Texas A&M University in 2022 and was inducted into the Texas A&M University Core Hall of Honor in 2023. Please join me in welcoming Chairman Mahomes.
Howdy, and good morning. Good morning to everyone. It is my honor to bring greetings on behalf of the Texas A&M University System and its Board of Regents, and to formally welcome retired Air Force General Mark A. Welsh III as the 27th President of Texas A&M University. General Welsh became president at a time when great leadership was needed. He turned out to be the perfect person for the job. From day one, he moved decisively, earned the trust and respect of the faculty, staff, students, and former students alike, and began the demanding work of advancing the university's mission and stature. But we were not surprised, given his long-standing reputation as a thoughtful, service-oriented, and collaborative leader. Before becoming A&M president, he was dean of the Bush School of Government and Public Service for 7 years, leading a graduate program with an unmatched record of success. His service as dean followed a distinguished career in the U.S. Air Force, where he was a fighter pilot, rose to the rank of a 4-star general, and became the Air Force Chief of Staff. Yes, he was one of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the top military advisors to the U.S. President and the Cabinet. And while he earned a BS from the U.S. Air Force Academy and a Master of Science degree from Webster University, and studied as a fellow at MIT, Syracuse, Johns Hopkins, and Harvard, he still considers himself an Aggie, with good reason. His father, Mr. Mark A. Welsh Jr., was class of 46. General Welsh has 5 Aggie siblings, and he and his wife, Betty, have 4 Aggie children and 2 grandchildren who are current students. If you doubt his Aggie credentials for a second, or just want to learn more about this remarkable man, I encourage you to go on YouTube and find his 2022 muster speech. And try not to choke up when you watch him saying, among other things, "Thank God my father was an Aggie." General Welsh can come across as an everyday Joe. He is service-minded, collaborative, humble. He aims high with a down-to-earth demeanor, never trying to be the smartest person in the room, even though he often is. And when someone asks him if he prefers being called general or dean or president, the response is always, "Mark, I'm Mark." We have seen Mark take the same approach as the president. He draws in colleagues. He asks a lot of questions. He employs the kind of forward-thinking and data-driven decision-making that the Board of Regents counts on from all its presidents. Under President Welsh's strong leadership, I have every confidence that Texas A&M will continue to grow in stature and impact. His contributions will be transformative and will enhance excellence at Texas A&M's for generations to come. And lastly, eight years ago, Mark and Betty Welsh received the Distinguished American Award from the U.S. Air Force Association. They were honored for their leadership in preserving and protecting the values and traditions of the United States. And for the past 8 years, the Welshes have continued that work at Texas A&M. They are indeed distinguished Americans, and we are indeed fortunate to have them here. Thank you.
Howdy. My name is Kat McClellan, class of 2018, and I currently serve as a financial manager with University Accounting Services in the Division of Finance and Business Services. Additionally, I am honored to be the chair of the University Staff Council for the 2024-2025 term. Our staff community plays a vital role in advancing the mission of this university, whether through student services, maintaining our beautiful campus, supporting research efforts, or ensuring that administrative processes run smoothly. Staff members are deeply committed to making Texas A&M University a place of excellence, tradition, and growth. We take great pride in knowing that our daily efforts contribute meaningfully to the success of this institution and its people. It is my profound honor to stand before you today representing the voices of nearly 8,500 staff members to extend our heartfelt gratitude and congratulations to President Welsh on this momentous occasion. On behalf of the University Staff Council, I pledge our support as we embark on this next chapter together. We are eager to collaborate with faculty, students, former students, and university leadership to foster a culture that reflects the core values that we hold dear: respect, excellence, leadership, loyalty, integrity, and selfless service. Bold leadership requires collaboration, and we stand ready to work alongside you, President Welsh, to meet challenges, embrace new opportunities, and continue building a thriving university community. Together, we will honor the traditions that define us while embracing the possibilities of the future. It is my pleasure to introduce Chancellor of the Texas A&M University System, John Sharp. Chancellor Sharp graduated in 1972 from this great university, where he earned a bachelor's degree in political science. As a student, he was a member of Squadron 6, the core staff of the Corps of Cadets, and the 1972 rugby team. He also would hold many leadership positions as a student, including student body president. Upon graduation, he was commissioned as a second lieutenant in the United States Army Reserve. Later, he would earn a master's in public administration from Texas State University. He would go on to become a distinguished alumnus at both Texas State and Texas A&M University. Chancellor Sharp has the distinction of being the longest-serving chancellor in the history of the Texas A&M University system, with more than 13 years in this position. Please help me in welcoming Chancellor John Sharp.
Howdy. And thank you, Chairperson McClellan, and thank you and your members for keeping this place running. It is a great honor on behalf of the Texas A&M University System Board of Regents to present General Welch with his symbols of office. Once a weapon of war, the mace in academic tradition is now a symbol of institutional authority. It signifies the university's power to protect knowledge against those seeking to undermine and exploit it, while also representing Texas A&M University's commitment to intellectual honesty and integrity and the civic trust acknowledged with its display and its use. I also have the honor of presenting you, President Welch, with the Presidential Medallion. It signifies our trust in you, General Welch. The medallion is infused with tradition and honor, and it is a symbol of the responsibility to inspire, mentor, and serve the students of this institution. So on behalf of the Texas A&M University System Board of Regents, and on behalf of the Office of Chancellor, as an expression of our great confidence in your ability to discharge the multiple duties of your office with high principles and moral strength, we present you this medallion as a symbol of the Office of President of Texas A&M University. With this mace and this medallion, the Texas A&M University System confers upon you right now the title President of Texas A&M University. Congratulations, President Welch.
And now, for a special introduction, representing the Welch family, please join me in welcoming to the podium the daughter of Mark and Betty Welch, Miss Liz Beechner.
Howdy. How do I introduce the greatest speaker I've ever heard without letting on that I inherited none of those genes? We're about to find out. It's hard to introduce my dad without first introducing my grandpa, Mark A. Welch, Jr. He went by Mick, and I once asked him, "Where did you get that ring?" And he replied with absolute sincerity, "The greatest university in the world, Liz." The 1876 on my grandpa's Aggie ring was worn almost smooth. You could vaguely make out a star and a saber as if they'd sunken into the gold. In the side of the ring was an indentation perfectly carved by his wedding ring, since neither had left his ring finger in over 5 decades. He started at Texas A&M in 1942, left to fly with the Army Air Corps into Germany in 1944, and returned to graduate in 1951. He spoke of the Fightin' Texas Aggie Band like Swifties talk about the Aero Store. When he talked about the Corps of Cadets, you'd find yourself Googling, "Should I enlist in the military?" hours later. He would be crying like a baby if he were here right now, watching his oldest son honored in his favorite place. My grandpa began my family's legacy at this university, and I suspect he had no idea how many Welches would carry that legacy forward. We have a Corps commander, electrical engineer, All-American rugby player, medical doctors, event producers, Air Force and Marine officers, a golf pro, multiple entrepreneurs, and many of the best parents I know. I even have 2 nephews attending A&M right now who have the distinct pleasure of sharing a last name with President Welch. So let's talk about that guy now. Let me tell you a few things you might not know about President Welch. My dad's favorite rapper is Nelly, and he knows multiple albums by heart. The only family he might love more than ours is the fictional Reagan family on the TV series Blue Bloods. If you can't imagine him cussing, put a mic within 3 feet of him during any round of golf. He lays on the floor to cuddle his dogs like the rest of us, but he is a ruthless, pitiless opponent in Monopoly. And lastly, but most importantly, the president of this storied university does, in fact, own Crocs. And yes, they have charms on them. My dad's greatest quality is not his goofy relatability or his public speaking prowess. It's not even his unshakable integrity. His greatest quality is that he is one of very few leaders who actually models how he wants people to treat each other. Most leaders have insatiable drive and otherworldly vision, but most leaders also lack the ability to truly see the people within their orbit. Most leaders treat people like a tool or a product of the mission. For my dad, people are the mission. He sets the example for how we should respect, engage, and honor those around us. I can't help but wonder what the world would look like if we had more leaders like him. So let's get him up here to remind us what leadership can look like if we care enough about those around us. Please welcome my dad, your 27th president, Mark A. Welsh III.
Thank you. Howdy. And that wasn't fair. I didn't know that was going to happen. I also didn't know that David Shedd and the singing cadets were going to sing the national anthem that way. I don't know how you felt about that. I thought it was incredible. And I found myself drifting up here and thinking about all the places I've heard that song and all the people I've stood beside. David, thank you. My sincere thanks to every one of you for being here today. It is a privilege to stand on this stage with these people. It's a privilege to be in this auditorium with you, and it's a privilege to be on this campus. And before I say anything else, I would like to thank everyone who had a hand in planning this day, whether it was setting up the auditorium in this beautiful way, whether it was taking the time to come and wear your regalia and show up for the event, or set up the student celebration. They had a student-focused investiture celebration yesterday on Academic Plaza where 1,300 students came and learned about mesas and gonfalons and investiture ceremonies and why they matter to an institution like the Academy. It was fantastic. All of you have done an incredible job. Thank you very, very much. And I need to offer a special thank you to Rebecca O'Neill and Holly Shive from the Office of the President, who led this planning team. I don't know where they are right now. They're here somewhere. I hope they know how much I treasure working with them every single day and how much I appreciate their efforts to make this day happen. They're just incredible people. There are a lot of incredible people here, and I apologize that I can't introduce all of you, but I would like to mention a couple of folks. My wife, Betty, is here with me, sitting right here in the front row. Betty is always with me, which is why my world is a pretty safe and happy place. One more adventure, babe. I love you. All four of our children are also here this morning. My son, Mark, and his wife, Ashley, both fighting Texas Aggie class of 01. Our son, John, College of Medicine, class of 12, and his wife, Marcella, are here today. Our son, Matt, who graduated with a degree in history in 2008 from Texas A&M, and you just met Liz, whose husband, Liam, is also here today. 6 of the 8 grandchildren are also here, and as you've heard, 2 of them are already at A&M, and the rest are in the pipeline. 3 of my 5 sisters have also joined us here this morning. My sister Molly Anderson comes from Georgetown, class of 79. My sister Maureen Forelli from Austin, class of 80. Maureen's actually in a mixed marriage, and her husband Vince is still recovering from last weekend's loss. So if you meet Vince, please be gentle. He's a bit fragile. And my sister Margaret Rogers, who is a member of the class of 87, is also here from Indiana. I have spent my entire life trying to be the kind of person who would make my family proud. I am so grateful to all of you for being here. Those family introductions may give you a sense of why I love this university so much, but there's lots of other reasons. A lot of it has to do with the fact that Aggies leave here and they go on to do great things. In addition to Chairman McCall and the rest of the stage party that you were introduced to by the magical voice of Fred McClure speaking to us from the heavens, there are 2 Aggie legislators here today. Representative Terry Wilson and Representative Stan Kitzman also join us. Gentlemen, thank you for leading us and for the great support that you always provide Texas A&M. You make Aggies everywhere proud.
And while I know they've already been introduced, I do want to specifically thank Chairman Bill Mahomes and the esteemed members of the Texas A&M University System Board of Regents for their constant support and guidance, and my boss, the dynamic leader of the A&M system, Chancellor John Sharp, for his remarkable service to this system and for making it possible for me to be here in the first place. I'd also like to offer my personal thanks and appreciation to the delegates from all the schools who join us here today. All of us at A&M are really honored that you came to our campus. Among those delegates, by the way, are my friend and colleague, Dr. Hector Ochoa, president of Texas A&M University San Antonio, along with Dr. Kelly Damphousse, the president of Texas State University. President Damphousse also happened to have earned both his master's and his doctorate from Texas A&M, and one of his daughters now serves as a member of our faculty. Thank you both for being here. I'm honored that you would take the time to join us. I'd also like to welcome an old friend, now the executive officer of the National Academy of Engineering, Dr. Alton Romig, this morning, as well as the director of the Texas Medical Association, Dr. Gerald Ray Callis, fighting Texas Aggie class of '95. And finally, our most honored guests. Members of the tremendous Texas A&M faculty and staff are here, along with members of the greatest student body on earth, the 12th man. So why are we here? When the idea of an investiture ceremony was first proposed to me, I gave it a pretty flat no. I'm a pretty passionate proponent of the there's no I in team approach. And it turns out there is one. In fact, there's two of them in investiture. The whole thing sounded pretty self-serving to me. But my team is very persistent, and they're much smarter than I am, and they encouraged me to do some research before making a final decision. And so I did, and actually discovered two pretty good reasons for having this ceremony. First, I discovered that investiture ceremonies for academic institutions began during the Middle Ages. The purpose is to give a new university leader the authority and symbols of their office. It's a tradition, and Aggies value tradition. And while that alone wasn't completely compelling to me, looking into the history and definition of investiture revealed something that was. The word investiture is defined as formally conferring rank. And the word confer means to grant or bestow something, and in this context, a title. I've never believed that a promotion or a new grander title really was a reward. I've always seen it as an opportunity, a challenge to earn something. In this case, the trust of our faculty, the confidence of our staff, the respect of our students and former students, the support of our system leadership, our Board of Regents, and our legislature. And accepting that challenge publicly holds me accountable. And I do believe in accountability. The second and much more important reason to hold this ceremony is that other than that conferring part, which is now behind us, it's not about me. It's about Texas A&M. It's about our mission. It's about the people who make it possible, the students who benefit from it, and the institution that brings us together and gives us purpose. And those things are always worth celebrating. So let's do that this morning. Aggieland provides students with an unbelievable experience in so many different ways. But at its core, this is an educational institution. Our job is to prepare Aggies to leave here and make a positive difference in the world. And the foundation of our success in that mission is our faculty. It's your ability to teach, your ability to do research, your tireless effort to expand the knowledge that underpins what you teach, your ability to inspire students to chase their own dreams and enable others to do the same. Texas A&M is a great university, and great universities are built on and by great faculty. It's just a fact. Today, more than anything else, we celebrate you. As Angie mentioned before, there are over 4,300 professionals on our faculty, almost evenly split between tenured track faculty and academic professional track faculty who are everybody else. You teach over 4,600 different courses, and you offer roughly 300 undergraduate, graduate, and professional degrees, and an additional 300+ minors and certificate programs. Among you are 3 Nobel laureates, 2 winners of the prestigious Wolf Prize for Research, 57 National Academy members, more than 180 Fulbright scholars, 105 Regents professors, 85 American Association for the Advancement of Science fellows, 18 National Academy of Inventors fellows, 4 astronauts, former CEOs, U.S. ambassadors, federal agency directors, intelligence officers, military professionals, and distinguished practitioners from every enterprise you can imagine. Collectively, you are a force of nature when it comes to helping our students prepare to chase their own dreams and to make the impact we expect from them in their chosen field. And you still managed to find the time to produce almost $1.3 billion in research expenditures last year. To our students, being an Aggie means making a positive difference in your world, no matter how small or large that world may be. For our students, the ability to make that difference starts right here on our campus, and you are the architects of their professional platform. You know, my new regalia basically just makes me look cool. I know you were thinking it. But as I was looking at all of you during the procession earlier, I was actually reminded that yours does so much more than that. Yours represents centuries of tradition in one of the world's oldest and noblest professions. Yours represents specific and distinguished institutions of learning from all over the planet. Yours represents years of preparation for a job where success means there's more work to be done. There's more to learn. There's more to teach. There's more to study. There's more to discover. Yours represents hard-earned and honorable recognition among a group of professionals whose greatest responsibility is to the truth and the pursuit of using that truth to help our students make this world a better place, generation after generation after generation. The proof is always in the pudding. Our former students are incredible. They should be. They were taught by the best. I wouldn't trade you for any other faculty in the world, and it's a privilege to stand beside you. I think you're also lucky because you have an 8,500-person supporting cast that is also the best in the business. Our A&M University staff is all world, and they are always all in. They love this university, and they are absolutely committed to ensuring that our faculty have everything they need to get our students ready for the world they'll walk into, and to giving our students the care and feeding they need until they're ready to step out that door. So many of them are Aggies, and so many of the ones who aren't have spouses or children who are. Our staff is part of the DNA of this place. Their dedication, their talent, their work ethic, their practical problem solving, their selfless service, their belief in our faculty, their stubborn insistence that every struggling student is worth saving, and their loyalty to this institution and to each other, even on the toughest days, is inspirational. In so many ways, their support for students gives our campus its identity. They are the reason Newsweek named Texas A&M University, one of the best workplaces in America. Those other guys aren't even on the list. And we are so very fortunate to serve beside them. And all of us are fortunate that almost 80,000 young Aggies trusted us enough to come to our campuses so that we could help them prepare for the great adventure that life is going to lay out in front of them. While 94% of our undergraduate students are Texans, which is a very intentional bow to our land-grant responsibility, our students participate in more than 400 study abroad programs in over 100 different countries. They don't just come here to learn, they also come to serve. Our students contribute hundreds of thousands, let me say that again, hundreds of thousands of volunteer hours annually through programs like The Big Event, which is the largest student-run service project in the country. And they serve our institution all day, every day, as the 12th man.
They attend every event honoring the traditions and legacies of Texas A&M. At every athletic event, like this week's huge volleyball win in Austin, our students stand in support of Aggie athletes who represent them and all of us proudly. And they don't just represent us proudly inside the lines. Aggie athletes have an 87% graduation rate and an average GPA of 3.15. Wasn't that way when I played college sports. 85 of them had a perfect 4.0 GPA last semester. Our graduate and professional degree students reflect that exact same excellence. Their qualifications, certification, and licensing scores routinely lead the state of Texas and put us at the top of the food chain nationally. As just one example, our College of Veterinary Medicine and Biological Sciences scores often lead the nation. Our students are simply awesome. And I'm here to tell you that our world will be in very good hands. Somebody asked me the other day how I see A&M in the future. I actually think that's a pretty good question for today. I see Texas A&M as a place where everyone feels valued, where everyone has a voice and feels comfortable using it, a place where no one needs to read our core values because you see and hear them everywhere you go on campus. I see an A&M where all of us embrace the spirit of Aggieland, where we all show up at those events that connect us with the magic of tradition, history, and heritage that our university offers. A place where we all join with the proud members of the Corps of Cadets and the Traditions Council to celebrate that spiritual pillar of Texas A&M. A place where we share silver taps, bonfire remembrance, muster, midnight yell, elephant walk, even the flight of the Great Pumpkin. Because if you don't show up, you'll never feel A&M. And if you don't feel A&M, you're cheating yourself. Because for 148 years now, there's been something magic here on the Brazos. We should embrace it. I see Texas A&M as a place where everything, literally everything, is possible. Our chancellor has proved to us for 13 years that you should never be afraid of thinking big. I see it as a place where no one is intimidated by tough problems, tough people, big price tags, or competition. A place where we come together comfortably and routinely to clear those hurdles. A place that continues to develop and attract the very best scholars from the national academies and develop our own. A place that produces an increasing number of national and international level academic award winners and that prepares a select set of students to compete over and over again for Rhodes Scholarships and other major academic awards. I see A&M as a place that attacks the biggest challenges facing our state and our nation, a place that is constantly in the national conversation because of the success we have in staring down those challenges, for discovering new knowledge, for developing solutions, and for leading the charge, not chasing the bus. Staying in the national conversation will actually require more focus than we've had in the past. It'll require us to identify and prioritize those things that will actually draw national attention. It will require tremendous marketing and communications expertise and the resources needed to support that kind of an effort. It will require commitment to a long-term effort, not a one-time surge. And it will require a common understanding that we just can't highlight everything to the world, and a collective belief that a rising tide actually does lift all boats. I see an A&M that doubles down on graduating great citizens, not just great Aggies, a place with a focus on preparing students to understand and exercise both the rights and responsibilities of citizenship when they step off the graduation stage and into the world. A place where we continue to send graduates into public service careers at a higher rate than any other university in America. A place with a reputation for recruiting, welcoming, and serving veterans better than any other school in the country. We're already well down that path. I see it as a place with a structured citizenship and service program where academic classes merge with student organizations, leadership opportunities, and public service activity to create an experience that ensures Aggies are prepared and motivated to lead and serve their families, their friends, and their communities, regardless of the profession they choose. President George H.W. Bush once said that public service is a noble calling. He also said that there can be no definition of a successful life that does not include service to others. Aggies believe that. Let's make sure we show them how to live that life. I see an A&M that takes its rightful place in the ranks of leading national security schools in this country, a place that brings together the security expertise, the policy experience, the incredible scientific, technological, economic, and social research we already conduct to examine the most difficult questions facing our nation in the security arena. A place where an annual National Security Forum addresses issues that impact both our state and our nation. Things like energy security, border security, space policy, critical resource shortages, biosecurity and pandemic policy, the food, water, energy nexus, and so many, many more. I see an A&M that increasingly balances its rich and remarkable agricultural and engineering contributions with emerging social science, fine arts, and visualization programs that will shape the future of Texas society, entertainment, and governance. I see an A&M that stays true to its original land-grant heritage with growing rural health programs and affordable housing programs, a place dedicated to improving the lives of Texans, caring for their livestock and their pets, enhancing their food and water supply, educating their children, improving their energy sources, and protecting their lives and property in crisis. I see it as a place that embraces its newer sea and space grant designations by accelerating research and technologies that enable space travel, habitation, architecture, agriculture, and health, along with research focused on everything from deep-sea minerals resources and mining to the economic impact of the blue economy. I see an A&M whose planning is fully coordinated and in alignment with the strategic direction and planning of the A&M system, because they are the most critical enabler for everything we need to do to be successful over time. I see an A&M with a predominantly four-year campus in McAllen, serving South Texas, a thriving campus in Galveston with a 500-student maritime academy, serving the Texas blue economy, and a flexible teaching site in downtown Washington, D.C., serving multiple colleges and programs. I also see an A&M closely connected and in sync with its strongest partners: the Texas A&M Foundation, the Association of Former Students, the 12th Man Foundation, the Corps of Cadets Association, and the George and Barbara Bush Foundation are critical components of any success that this university enjoys. And unless the cities of Bryan and College Station succeed, Texas A&M can't succeed. All of them must be fully integrated into our planning for the future and part of the active communications loop as we execute those plans. I also think it's notable that the leaders of most of those organizations are in this auditorium today, because they feel the same way I do. You know, we are planning for the sesquicentennial celebration in 2026 is already well underway. So it seems somehow fitting that we will soon begin work on the strategic plan that will launch us into our next 150 years. Together, over the past year, our faculty, staff, and students have taken a look at where we are as an institution so that we can decide where we need to go next and how we can turn some of those ideas I just mentioned and many others into reality. A major part of the information we need to make those decisions is captured in 2 studies and 2 projects. The 2 studies are a capacity study, how to deal with the recent growth on our campus, and a student experience study, which is the student perspective on the same problem. We need to right-size our campus in all the ways that support our multiple activities for an 80,000 student body. It's different than it was built for. One of the 2 projects is the development of an academic roadmap that lays out the type of educational institution we want to be in the future, and it identifies the type and level of resources needed to get there. The other project is an attempt to capture our university's research identity in a way that allows us to best tell the story of the depth and breadth of impact our faculty have as a result of their scholarly work. It helps us derive ideas for better supporting them in that work in the future and making an even greater impact on our state and our world. I just received the final version of both of those studies and of the academic roadmap. And I'll take the next week or two to digest them, and then I'll get to work with you to decide which of the recommendations to adopt and in what order we should adopt them. Now, there are some big issues we will have to consider. How much funding should we put against critically needed faculty shortfalls in STEM and engineering departments, where we've grown the student population 44% and 75%, respectively, over the last 10 years? How do we balance that investment with the need to reinvigorate both faculty funding and facilities for our research enterprise, which cannot fall behind? How do we prioritize both of those against equally critical needs in terms of student housing, dining facility space, and additional staff for some of our exploding student assistance and support requirements? Does all that outweigh the need to improve West Campus infrastructure shortfalls in classroom space, dining space, study space, parking, and housing? Where does the need to examine the future of university health services fit in all of this? Butyl is clearly not big enough anymore. Do we build a new facility? Do we go to satellite clinics? Or what? How does the need to create a more proactive renewal and funding plan for deferred maintenance and then actually fund it compared to the need for new facilities? Or do we start with funding for transportation services to add buses, increase parking availability, create connecting spaces, or deconflict pedestrians and the Mad Max-ish assortment of personal transport vehicles that race around our campus? None of these are easy issues, and that's the very short list. And those issues are right here. We've got some work to do and some real tough conversations to have. The good news is that we now have the data to help see the problems more clearly and we have recommended solutions that give us a starting point for those discussions. We all need to be engaged in these conversations, which means we need a strong commitment to better communication across our campus. I expect our department heads, directors, deans, senior administrators, my cabinet, and me to lead that effort. We will never make everyone happy with every decision, but no one should be surprised that one was made if it impacted them. One of the great things about A&M is that Aggies actually love themselves some Aggies. We like each other. We like being around each other. Texas A&M should be the model for shared governance, for corporate communication in the educational context, and for transparent decision-making. Anything less than that is a cop-out. And so is any tendency to rest on our laurels. The things that made us great for the last 148 years may not all be part of what makes us great for the next 10 or 25 or 50. We should constantly look to assess performance, identify program gaps, remove suboptimal programs, and create new ones that better meet the dynamic demand signal of our students, our state, and our changing society. We owe that to the state of Texas, and we owe that to each other. I'm excited about the journey ahead. I believe this is already the greatest university on earth, and we are going to make it greater. And I'm particularly excited about the college, school, and division visits starting soon that'll let me discuss some of these things with you in person. I introduced my four sisters earlier, or the three sisters who were here today earlier. All of us, along with our sisters Nan and Monica and brother Jim, were privileged to grow up in what might have been the best family environment ever, as you heard from my daughter Liz. Our parents were responsible for that. My mom graduated from Arizona State University, 3 words I never heard in my house growing up, with a teaching certificate, and she became an elementary school teacher, mostly second grade teacher. She had the patience of a saint and the heart of a lion. She needed it with 7 kids and a husband who fought in 3 wars. She would love this ceremony. You heard that my dad was an Aggie. You heard that he left here the day after he turned 18, went to war, returned after the war like so many others, graduated, and then returned to service for both Korea and Vietnam. Dad spent his formative years living on a dirt farm near La Feria, Texas, in the Rio Grande Valley between Harlingen and McAllen. They raised cabbage and sold it for $2 a ton. To him, Texas A&M was a shining city on a hill. And because he saw it that way, so did we. I still do. Serving as president of this university is an incredible privilege, and it's a sobering challenge. I accept both. All in all, I think Mom and Dad would be proud of me today. And any day a kid can make his parents proud is a good day. Thank you for sharing it with me. Beat the hell out of LSU. And
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the singing of the Spirit of Aggieland. And please remain standing as the faculty and delegates recess out of the auditorium. Following the recessional, we hope you will join us in Aggie Park for the Aggie Family Picnic to continue today's celebration.